Friends, I want you to start by asking yourself the most fundamental question there is. Who am I, really? If your first answer is your name, your job, or even the face you see in the mirror, you're looking at a fantastic but temporary costume. The reality is that the person you think you are, this outer ego focused on this single life, is just a tiny fraction of your true identity. The real you is what we'll call the multidimensional self. Think of it as your soul, your higher consciousness, or your true essence. It is vast, eternal, and far more intelligent, powerful and creative than the little voice chatting away in your head. Imagine your consciousness is an ocean. The outer ego, the part of you that navigates daily traffic and your to-do list, is just a single ripple on the surface. It's designed to have a very narrow focus, anchoring you in physical reality with the five senses. But your multidimensional self, your true self, is the entire ocean, containing all time, all experience, and all knowledge. This greater self isn't some distant abstract spirit. It's the very source you spring from. And it's not a finished product. It's a process of becoming, eternally expanding its own understanding through the experiences of all its parts, and you are one of its most vital explorers. To really grasp this, we have to let go of one of our most limiting beliefs, the idea of linear time. We think we move in a straight line from past life to this life to a future life. But the Seth material tells us it's not a chain. It's a magnificent, self-aware, and ever-expanding whole. Your true self doesn't move through time. It exists in a perpetual, non-physical now. All of its manifestations, your past, present, and future selves, are all happening simultaneously. I know, that's a tough one for the ego to get, because the ego is defined by its existence in time. But from your self's perspective, your current life is just one accessible branch on a massive living tree. Your current focus is just one point of attention among many, all happening at once. This is why you might carry seemingly inexplicable passions, fears, or talents. They aren't just accidents of genetics. They are echoes and concentrations of experience flowing from the entire body of yourself. When you feel a profound sense of familiarity with a place or a subject, you're tapping into the wisdom and energy of another simultaneous part of your own being. This powerful unity also explains the concept of probable selves. Every major choice you've ever faced, every decision you almost made, didn't just vanish into thin air. It was fully explored by another part of yourself. If you chose one job over another, the version of you that took the second job is a probable self, just as real and just as conscious as you are right now. Your greater self is a collector of experience, exploring all possible timelines for its creative expression. Your entire self, your current personality, your probable selves, and all your past physical and non-physical selves, forms a gestalt, a structure whose total is greater than the sum of its parts. This gestalt is the powerful overarching consciousness that organizes and contains all of them, feeding energy and purpose to each part. And it demands one thing from every explorer it sends out: growth. Your soul is a constantly communicating web of selves, each contributing their unique perspective. When you have a breakthrough in this life, that knowledge immediately becomes available in some form to all other versions of yourself. You are never just learning for you. You are a vital learning instrument for your entire spiritual lineage. This leads us to the second crucial truth. Consciousness creates matter. Everything you perceive in your life, your physical body, your finances, your relationships, is a material projection of non-physical data. Your beliefs and expectations are the blueprints for your life. Your inner self acts as the flawless master builder, taking your beliefs literally and constructing your reality accordingly. This means things like illness and health are not random. They are a direct feedback loop from your core beliefs. Your physical body is your most intimate work of art, and it clearly reveals what's going on inside. The division between the spiritual and the physical is an illusion. The physical form is simply the spiritual speaking with a physical voice. Those feelings of fear, limitation, or helplessness are just static created by the small physical ego when it forgets its connection to the boundless ocean of the self. Understanding the true size of yourself is the first step toward accessing its power. When you limit your identity to your ego and your body, you limit your power to what your five senses can process. You feel confined. But when you realize your ego is just the antenna for a consciousness that is eternal and capable of manifesting any belief, you change the entire game. You begin to understand that you are not here to survive an unthinking universe. You are here to create an inspired, expanding, and joyful existence. Your true self operates from a place of complete confidence and endless possibility. When you stop seeing yourself as a separate, fragile organism and begin to feel the presence of the infinite consciousness that is constantly backing you, guiding you, and creating through you, your energy changes, and your world must change to reflect that inner shift. Our purpose, then, is to consciously remember that we are a multidimensional self, having a physical experience, not a physical body trying to have a spiritual one. The key is recognizing that this bridge between your ego and your true self exists, and then learning how to walk across it. The key to this conscious creation is understanding that the point of power is now. This present moment is the only place where you can effectively change the instructions you're sending to your greater self. You are not trapped by your past. You are free to change your reality right now. You have to begin to trust the miracle of your own being. Your true self's purpose is always expansion and joy. You simply need to align your small, waking self with the power, confidence, and love of your magnificent greater self. Take a deep breath and let that reality sink in. The soul is who you are, and its validity is eternal. You are so much larger than... All right, let's dive into the core of reality creation. We've talked about who you are, a vast, eternal, multidimensional entity. Now we're asking the most important question in metaphysics. How does this non-physical consciousness create the world you see around you? This is where theory becomes incredibly practical. The foundational rule of your existence is this: consciousness creates matter, and your experience is a direct result of your expectations. We've all been taught the opposite, right? That the physical world is this solid, objective thing that exists whether we're looking at it or not. We're told we just have to react to whatever it throws at us. But the Seth material completely flips this idea on its head. It says the universe, your body, and every single event you encounter are not static facts. They are malleable constructs, constantly being projected and maintained by your inner reality. You are not a passive observer watching a pre-made movie. You are the active projector of your own personal reality. Picture your consciousness as a massive, powerful movie projector. Your physical life, everything you see, hear, and touch, is the magnificent interactive movie screen. So, what's the film reel? It's your thoughts, your emotions, and most importantly, your beliefs. Your greater inner self, that multidimensional entity we talked about, is the master projectionist. It flawlessly takes the data on that film reel, your beliefs, and translates it into a three-dimensional, fully sensory, physical reality that you experience as the world. This is why we say your beliefs are the blueprints for your life. They aren't just idle thoughts floating around in your head. They are the primary, powerful, and focused instructions that your conscious mind sends to your all-powerful inner self. So how does this actually work on a deep physical level? Why does the world seem so solid? It's because the conscious cells and atoms that make up everything are organized by an immense inner knowing. Seth explains that this system operates under the principle of panpsychism. This means that every single atom, molecule, and cell has its own mini-consciousness and its own power of choice. Think about that for a second. They aren't just dumb biological components. They are cooperative, conscious entities communicating with your inner self. Your own body is a masterpiece of conscious cooperation. Billions of conscious cells are organizing themselves to express the precise pattern of belief that your consciousness holds. So your physical body isn't just some unthinking machine that gets randomly attacked by disease or has an accident. It is the ultimate material sculpture, a living, breathing work of art that is continuously being formed and maintained by your inner multidimensional self, based entirely on the beliefs you hold. This means that health, illness, and even aging patterns are not the result of chance. They are a direct feedback loop from your most profound core beliefs. Your body is always trying to heal and sustain itself, but it must obey the directives coming from the consciousness that created it. If your conscious or unconscious mind holds a belief that says, "I'm prone to getting sick every winter," or "after a certain age, you just have to get frail and weak," the cellular consciousness will follow those instructions. The physical symptom you experience is essentially a message. It's a clear, physical manifestation of an underlying, unexamined belief that your multidimensional self has faithfully projected into form. Your body is a mirror showing you the energetic state of your mind. This leads to a profound realization. There is no division between the spiritual and the physical. That separation is just an illusion created by our ego, which is designed to focus on the world of space and time. The physical form is simply the spiritual speaking with a physical voice. Your feelings of fear, limitation, or helplessness, that's the static created by the small physical ego when it forgets its connection to the boundless ocean of the self. The reality of the multidimensional self also explains our greatest challenge, unconscious creation. We all carry old, forgotten, deep-seated beliefs. Many were instilled in childhood, or even carried over from other simultaneous existences. These beliefs continue to run on that film reel, creating our reality whether we're aware of them or not. A person might consciously desire wealth and success, but if their unconscious belief is running an instruction that says money is the root of all evil, or I am unworthy of love, the entity, being a perfect and obedient mechanism, will manifest circumstances that confirm that unconscious belief. The inner command always overrides the superficial wish. This is the true power of taking personal responsibility. This isn't about blame. It's about acknowledging your incredible creative power. Every thought has consequences. Every deep-seated belief is a command. When you experience a difficult circumstance, it's not some cosmic punishment. It is the most honest, direct form of communication you can receive, showing you exactly what inner belief you need to address. This understanding is the key to stepping into true conscious action. As long as you believe that some external force, genetics, fate, chance, is responsible for your life, you remain a victim. But when you realize that your entire life is the continuous, moment-to-moment, physical expression of your multidimensional self, a self that you are consciously feeding instructions to, then you understand that your only limitations are the ones you choose to believe in. Your multidimensional self is constantly using every tool at its disposal, from orchestrating synchronicities to structuring the molecular density of your bones, to express the narrative you provide. The path to freedom isn't about fighting the outside world. It's about changing the story you're telling on the inside. So, we've moved from who you are to how you create. The logical next step is the most important one. What do you do with this power? Now we have to turn our attention to the present moment, because that is the only place you can ever intercept the film reel, change the instruction, and begin building a completely new reality. So far, we've explored the incredible idea that you are a multidimensional entity, and we've seen how your beliefs literally shape the world you experience. But knowing who you are and how you create is only part of the journey. The most crucial step is understanding what you do with this power. The entire purpose of this knowledge is to shift from creating your life unconsciously, on autopilot, to becoming a deliberate, conscious creator. To do this, we must focus all our attention on what Seth calls the point of power. And where is this point? It is always, without exception, the present moment. Right now, this very second. Think about it. Your greater, multidimensional self exists in a timeless now, where past, present, and future are all happening at once. The only place where you, the physical self, can intersect with that flow and change the instructions you're sending is right here, in this present moment. This means you are not a victim of your past. You're not doomed by your childhood, your past mistakes, or even what you might think of as past lives. Your past only has power over you to the extent that you carry its beliefs into the present. If you want to change your reality, you have to change your mind about your past, and you have to do it now. The present moment is your single point of leverage against the vastness of time. So how do we start using this leverage? The most effective way is to learn the language of your true self, your entity, and that language is spoken through your inner senses. Your physical self, the outer ego, communicates through the 5 senses we all know: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. These senses are designed for survival in the physical world, to keep you alert to danger and focused on navigating your immediate environment. But your inner self, your soul, communicates differently. It speaks through intuition, those sudden flashes of knowing that seem to come from nowhere. It speaks through deep empathy, through inner visions, vivid dreams, and that profound feeling of certainty that often defies logic. These inner senses are the tools your greater self uses to guide your focus toward the best possible outcomes and manifestations. To hear this guidance, you have to develop these senses, and the first step is creating moments of inner quiet. Now, Seth is very clear. This isn't about discarding your intellect or abandoning your rational mind. It's about finding an equilibrium, a balance between your inner knowing and your logical thinking. Your entity is always sending you guidance, but the constant noise of our limiting beliefs and the endless distractions of daily life can easily drown it out. The primary action you need to take is to actively challenge the deep-seated limiting beliefs that create that noise. The fundamental truth is that your multidimensional self is inherently good. It is focused on growth and expansion, and it operates from a place of boundless confidence and love. The only things standing in your way are the limiting beliefs you've accepted as truth. Beliefs like, I am unworthy, I'm bound to fail, or life is just a struggle. These aren't universal laws. They are just old programming. So, how do we dismantle them? Seth offers a powerful 3-step process: identify, challenge, and reinforce. First, you identify the limiting belief. When something negative happens in your life, don't get lost in the drama of the event itself. Instead, pay close attention to the automatic thought that it triggers. For example, if you unexpectedly lose your job, what's your first internal reaction? Is it, I'm so unlucky, or I'll never find a job that good again? That is the belief. That is the command you are sending to your greater self. Second, you challenge that belief. Once you've identified it, question its authority. Ask yourself, is this really a universal law of the cosmos, or is it just a habit of my thinking? Does this small, fearful thought come from the vastness of my eternal being, or from the limited perspective of my scared ego? Just by consciously questioning the belief, you start to loosen its grip. You signal that you are no longer accepting it as an absolute instruction. Third, and this is the most powerful step, you reinforce a new command. This is not about mindlessly repeating positive affirmations. This is about using your imagination and, most importantly, your emotion to feel the truth of a new empowering belief. Don't just say, "I will find a new job." Instead, use your imagination to feel the gratitude for the amazing job you will find. Feel the confidence and security of the abundance you will create. Your inner self, your entity, responds to feeling and imaginative certainty, not just empty words. You have to flood your inner world with the emotional evidence of the reality you want to create before you can see it in the outer world. When you practice this, you fundamentally shift your role in the universe. You move from being a passive victim of circumstances to an active, conscious co-creator. You are no longer trapped by the creations of your past because you understand that the point of power is now. The power you command is the entire creative force of your complete being, your Gestalt. Finally, you must learn to trust the miracle of your own being. The purpose of your entity, your soul, is always expansion, learning, and joy. You were never meant to suffer. You were meant to create, to experience, and to express the fullness of who you are. The whole drama of your physical life is an act of supreme confidence on the part of your greater self, which knows with absolute certainty that no physical experience can ever harm or destroy the core of who you truly are. Therefore, it's time to stop seeing your body as this fragile, separate machine and start recognizing it for what it is. Your spirit speaking with a physical voice. It is a self-healing, self-regulating miracle that responds directly to your love and belief. The goal is to align your small waking self with the power, confidence, and love of your magnificent greater self. This process of discovery and expansion is the very reason you are here. So take that power now. Take a deep breath and let this ultimate reality sink into every cell of your being. The point of power is now, and the power you possess is eternal. You are free to create. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more explorations into the nature of reality. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.